Hello BroDude, this is Birdie aka BroDude, and welcome back to another episode of BroDude Official, and we're back with the Wrestlemania review where we will be rating the matches with stars, not like Dave Meltzer, but just how much we enjoyed it. And we're going to quickly get into this one, and I'll start off with the kickoff show here. I'm joined by BroDude, of course. There he is, PWR champion.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Still is.
Still the champ.
Wow. Yeah! Alright, so we're going to start off with the kickoff show here as Liv Morgan took on Natalya. And I gotta say, I wasn't looking forward to this match in the slightest, but it wasn't too bad, honestly, because I don't really like Liv Morgan. But it wasn't awful. Honestly, it was a pretty okay match. And it was pretty similar to Cesaro versus Drew Gulak, like the kickoff show last time, except it just wasn't quite as good because they're not Cesaro or Drew Gulak. So I just won 2 of 3 4 stars.
Okay, I enjoyed the match as well. Again, not overly emotionally invested in the match because it was a last minute match. It wasn't a huge angle building up to it necessarily, but it was a good match. It was fun to watch. I think that it was probably the best match I've seen Liv Morgan in since coming up to the main roster, so to speak. So it was a good singles one-on-one match. I liked it. I gave it a 2.0.
That is fair. You can take the next one. Sorry, that's the show.
Alright, so we opened the main show with a hard-hitting contest between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte for the NXT Women's Championship. This match was brutal. Absolutely brutal. I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I like Charlotte when she wrestles like this the most. And I gave the match 4.0 out of 5. I really liked it, and I think that it was the best women's match out of the 4 that we saw over the 2 nights. Not to give anything away, but I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing Charlotte in NXT. That opens up a lot of cool possibilities for matches.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I thought this match was great. Rhea Ripley really selling the leg and knee injury very well. And it was just a really good match. I gave it 4 1/4 stars. So yeah, we're going to move on to the next matchup here, which is Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. One of the impromptu matches, sort of WrestleMania. It just kind of, they're like, here's a match. So basically, Bobby Lashley dominates for a lot of this match, and he gets him up for possibly a power slam, but then Lana's like, no, spear him. And then he's like, and then Black Mass, 1, 2, 3, Aleister Black wins. I'll say this was my least favorite match of both 2 nights, but it wasn't awful. I gave it 2 1/4 stars.
Alright, so this also is my lowest rated match of the event. And that doesn't mean it was bad, in my opinion. I was just the least emotionally invested in this match. And that's why I didn't get a high rating. They did fine. It was a good job. It was a good match. I gave it a 1.5. Probably the best thing to come out of that, I think, is maybe possibly the beginning of the end of Bobby and
yeah,
Lana.
That's the only positive here. That's why it brought me up from more than a 2-star rating, because I don't want to see that anymore.
Alright, so the next match, I know this is a match you were greatly looking forward to. Otis finally getting his one-on-one match against Dolph Ziggler. This is a fun match. I'd say pretty much as expected, but there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoyed the match. I like Mandy coming out, Otis having his moment with Mandy at the end of the match. This one, of all the matches on night 2, is the one I think would have most benefited from the crowd, because the crowd should have been there for that moment at the end of the match. Still liked it quite a bit, and I gave it 2.5 stars.
Okay, so I'm including all the after-match shenanigans in this rating. I literally loved this so much. I was so happy. And this may sound insane, but I'm giving this 4 stars because I loved it so much. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars. The kiss was the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's the Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth of this generation. Dead. Okay? It is.
All right.
It's a bit of okay, maybe not exactly to that level, but still, it was an incredible moment with a lot of build up. This was one of the most built up matches, probably the longest build of any match on the card. Another one with a long build up: Edge versus Randy Orton, a last man standing match, a brutal affair here. I mean, I'll just go through some of the crazy stuff that happened in this. There's like a chain link thing, and Randy Orton hung off of it and elbow dropped Randy. He jumped off of a truck thing. So much happened in this. It's the concerto to end it. He got up. I mean, 3 RKOs couldn't put Edge away. So much happened in this, and I thought, it could have benefited from going a little bit less long than it did, but I still think that it, just by a little bit, not like people are saying online, I gave this 4 1/4 stars.
Alright, I also enjoyed this match tremendously. I know some people thought that it went long. Some people thought it went too long. Yes, it was long. It deserved to be long, in my opinion. There was a lot of emotions there, and it was a last man standing match. That means you have to be the last man standing. Not a pin, not a disqualification or submission. Last man standing. Of course it's going to be long. I thought it was great. They went out there and busted their butts for 36 minutes, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Welcome back, Edge. Thank you, Edge and Randy. 3.5 stars from me.
Nice.
So next up, we bring things back down a little bit after that emotional roller coaster with Edge and Randy. We have a Raw Tag Team Championship match of Street Profits versus Austin Theory and that Angel guy. Angel Garza. Good match, fun match. Again, it was kind of thrown in there, so I didn't have the emotional investment. Nothing bad to say about it. Gave it a 2.0.
I gave it 2 3/4. What brought it up a little bit for me was Bianca Belair's involvement at the end. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm a big Bianca Belair fan. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty decent match there. So then we move on to the SmackDown Women's Title match. We have Bayley defending against Sasha Banks, Naomi, Lacey Evans, and Tamina. Tamina gets out quickly because I guess they don't really like Tamina very much. But does anybody? Oh, I'm sorry, Tamina. I'm sure somebody does. But anyways, Naomi gets eliminated after that, and then this is where it picks up. Bayley going for a knee to Lacey Evans, but then accidentally hits Sasha Banks, so the match continues, and then Sasha's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then Lacey goes for a woman's right to Bayley, but she ducks, hits Sasha, 1, 2, 3, it's down to Lacey Evans and Bayley. So then we get far into this match, but Sasha Banks ends up helping Bayley win the matchup. And I give this one 3 stars. I might be a little bit biased, just because it's what helped me win the predictions and to be still your predictions champion. But nonetheless, I just gave this one 3 stars. I thought it was pretty decent.
Okay, I enjoyed this match as well. I thought they told a great story. I was thinking that Lacey Evans was probably going to pull off the win here, but I also thought that it could have went multiple ways, which is great, which means they did their job setting this thing up because you really didn't know who was going to win this match, and I thought they did a good job. They definitely delivered, and I gave it 3.5 stars.
Nice. Okay.
Now, my most anticipated match of both nights of the entire event, Firefly Funhouse match, The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. I'm not really sure how to describe this match. It was completely surreal, as it should have been. And this again is where WWE made the most out of what we had as for a situation. This is far better, in my opinion, than a one-on-one in-ring match that we would have got between these two, whether in front of or not in front of a crowd. It was incredible for me. People like different things, but I loved every second of it. Thank you, Bray. Thank you, John Cena. Unbelievable. I gave it 5 stars.
Cena versus Fiend was incredible. There's so many great moments. The whole NWO thing, the whole ruthless aggression, the promo, like the 80s promo, calling back to the WrestleMania 30 match. He's like, do what you didn't do last time, and he goes for it, but he gets, like, he disappears. There's so much to love in this match, so much going on, and I loved every single second of it. I also gave it 5 stars. And now, after that, oh, by the way, the Fiend won. We didn't really say that, but yeah.
I'm going to say, too, and I have said this on social media, I think that in a WrestleMania that was unlike any other, this was Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania moment. I believe that.
Absolutely, absolutely. That could be the match that this WrestleMania is remembered for. That and possibly the Boneyard match, and coming up, this match, the start of something great. Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre immediately a Claymore kick. 1, 2, but a kick out by Brock Lesnar. He gets him up, but Brock Lesnar starts coming back, hitting 3, 4 German suplexes. He hits him with an F5. 1, kick out by Drew at 1. Can't believe it. He goes up again. Another F5. 1, 2, kick out by Drew. He hits him again with an F5. 1, 2, a kick out again. And then Paul Heyman's like, you can't keep kicking out all night. So he gets him up again, goes for another one, but Drew gets out of it. Claymore kick. Brock is falling down, but he's getting back up. Another Claymore kick. And he sets it up one more time. 3, 2, 1. Claymore kick. 1, 2, 3. We have a new WWE champion. And this was basically Goldberg versus Braun, but better done, I think. I think it was better done.
Agreed. Great analysis. I agree with you. Oh, I'm sorry. What was your star rating?
Oh, I gave this one 4 stars.
Okay. I gave it 3. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Wasn't some technical masterpiece. Didn't expect it to be. Didn't want it to be. I liked it. I was very happy for Drew McIntyre to have won the championship. My favorite part of that, at the end, it was a very feel-good moment, regardless of the crowd not being there. But I love Drew reaching out to the camera right at the end, looking directly into the camera, saying, you're all here with me. It got me. It got me. It was an emotional WrestleMania moment for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave that one 3 stars.
Well, that was WrestleMania, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Our review of Night 1 and Night 2. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. BroDude out.